Hello friends, let's discuss today's set of questions. First one relates to Air Force rankings. According to the Global Air Force ranking of 2022 by the World Directory of Modern Military Aircraft, the Indian Air Force has been ranked third best in the world. Well, see, this particular ranking is based on the total number of aircraft, modernization, pace of modernization. They look at logistical support, defense and attack capabilities. So the major factors for ranking are number of aircraft, that is the quantity of aircraft, modernization plans and at the pace of modernization, logistical support in terms of spares and mid-air refueling, all those things basically, attack and defense capabilities. So in terms of attack, how advanced is the aircraft, and in terms of defense capabilities, how what's the level of defense preparedness, defense preparedness in terms of being able to ward off an enemy attack. Now, this particular directory has has questions that when I say questions, I'm talking of, let's say, there are a lot of variables at play here. So some of these, like, for example, the world number one is, US Air Force. US Air Force. US Air Force has, I think, over 5,091, if I remember it correctly, 5,091 aircraft. Okay, I won't give the number for everything. Number two is the US Navy. So in the top six rankings, the top five rankings, say India is in the sixth place. So here it's mentioned third National Air Force. But when it concerns, we are looking at, let's say, within the wings of the defense forces, Army, Air Force, Navy, Air Force, and Air Force basically. So the US Air Force ranks number two. Number three would be Russian Air Force. Russia has over 3,000 3829 aircraft. Now we also have to understand a few things here, that again in the fourth place would be US Army Aviation. The US Army itself has an aviation division. Then we are looking at US Marine Corps. In the sixth place is Indian Air Force, and the seventh is Chinese Air Force. So when it comes to national air forces, which is best ranked, US, then Russia, then India, fourth is China, of course. So we need to look at national air forces. Yes, in that case India ranks third. But if you look at their own ranking, see, I went through this entire ranking, WMMA ranking, and I found that they have included the wings of the different wings of defense forces, like Army, Air Force and Navy. So within that, these are the numbers, the top seven in the world. The Indian Air Force has about 1645 aircraft. That's what the number says. So US, Russia, this one. China has a lot more than India has. It is 2040, if I remember correctly. 2040 aircraft. So, but China rejected these rankings, as is the case. Okay, they wouldn't want to be seen in the fourth place, just behind their arch rivals US and India. Yeah, but then of course they are behind US, but they say that we are not behind India. So I'm not going to dispute that. I'm not going to discuss that. Okay, I'm not going to debate what the Chinese say. So China is a country where it would want the world to trust it, but it does not trust its own people. That's why it imposes so many restrictions. So a country that does not trust its own citizens expects the world to trust its intentions. Yeah. So these are the top seven. If you have written this top seven, all of including wings of different services, but you also have to understand that national air forces, US, Russia, India, and China are the top four in the world. Top three, no China. That sounds good actually. Krishna Kumar Kunnath, popularly known as KK, passed away recently. He was a singer. He was one of my favorite singers. I would listen to his song Pal almost every day. Almost every day. Yeah. So Pal is a great song. He also, came up with this great number called Yaro. Then Tadap Tadap Ke. He sang in multiple languages, though I don't know the songs in other languages. I can only talk about his Hindi songs. Okay. So he has sung in Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, yeah, Bengali, and all. So in any case, Krishna Kumar KK, he passed away after a concert in Calcutta. In the concert itself, he had complained of uneasiness in his chest, but unfortunately passed away soon after that. With which country did Israel sign a free trade deal? It's first with an Arab country, building on their US brokered normalization of diplomatic relations in 2020. This is the Jewish state of Israel. This is Israel. Okay, this is the UAE. Where this is the UAE. You can see it here. Now I want you to understand that Israel is a Jewish country. Jews practice the religion of Judaism, whereas in almost all other countries here are Muslim. This includes Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman. So the entire Arabian Peninsula comprises religion, Islamic nations, except for the whole of West Asia actually. Predominantly, Azerbaijan is a Shia country. Georgia and Armenia are Christian nations, but when it comes to Israel, it's Jewish. Okay, the Jews practice the religion of Judaism. Historically, Jews and Muslims have been at loggerheads, and I think I discussed this a few weeks back as to what exactly is the issue between the Jews and the Muslims in this part of the world. Why the Muslim nations for several decades after Israel's creation in 1948 did not have any relationship with Israel. In fact, had gone to war. Muslim nations had gone to war against Israel in 1948, 1967, 1973, and some local wars in Lebanon and Syria as well. So I'm not going into that, but America tried to broker peace because America sees that the common enemy of Saudi Arabia, UAE, is Iran. Iran is the common enemy, and Iran is a country that opposes Saudi Arabia because, see, Iran is Shia Muslims, okay, ruled by Shia Muslim. Majority of population is Shia Muslims, whereas Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, UAE, Qatar, are predominantly Sunni Muslim countries. Majority of Bahraini population is Shia, but the ruler is Sunni. Syria, majority of population is Sunni, but the ruler is Shia. Iraq is Shia. These two countries are Shia. In Lebanon, there is a terrorist group called Hezbollah, which is a Shia militant group. So you need to understand here there is a lot of religious sectarianism at play. So if Saudi Arabia, Iran are enemies, they are more of a sectarian rivals. Of course, it's the same religion, but it is sectarian rivalry that defines the relationship. Sunni versus Shia. So there are two countries here that do not recognize the right of Israel to exist. One is Iran, the other is Syria. Syria and Iran are ruled by Shia guys, and both do not recognize the right of Israel to exist. They have sworn to destroy the state of Israel. Okay, now, so enemy is a friend, isn't it? Israel's enemy is Iran. Okay, Iran's enemy is UAE. So you just simply say that these guys have come together primarily to to engage each other in ensuring that both survive any attack by Iran. Okay, so UAE is one of the richest countries in the world. Of course, it does not have the kind of technology, defense technology that Israel has. Israel is a defense superpower, agriculture superpower. Okay, so if you look at Israel, let me tell you, Israel's capital is Jerusalem. Its prime minister is Naftali Bennett. Naftali Bennett. The currency is new shekel. New shekel. Okay, from there, let's go to the UAE. Okay. UAE's capital is Abu Dhabi. You can see this here, UAE. Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is another way of pronouncing it. The president here is, it's a monarchical system, but the head is president called Mohammed Zayed. Mohammed Zayed Al Nahyan. Mohammed Zayed Al Nahyan. Okay, so the currency is dirham. The currency is dirham. Saudi Arabia, the capital is Riyadh. Saudi Arabia is the world's largest, one of the top three petroleum exporters, top three petroleum producers and exporters, top three producers and exporters. Second largest proven reserves of petroleum. Which country has the largest? Venezuela. Venezuela has the largest reserves of petroleum. Second is Saudi Arabia. Okay. See, I said top three. I didn't give you the exact ranking because depending on the global economic situation, it could be the largest or the second largest producer, or it could be the largest exporter or the second largest exporter. So these rankings keep changing between the US and Saudi Arabia. Okay. So the king is Salman, King Salman. The monarch is Salman Ibn Saud. The full name is King Salman bin Abdulaziz Ibn Saud. Bin means son of. Saud is a surname. It's the only country in the world named after a surname of a family. The Saud family gave its name to the country, Ibn Saud. Okay, and the currency is Riyal. Currency is Riyal. You can also write Riyadh 2034 Asian Games. 2034 Asian Games. Okay. 2034 Asian Games. Iraq. This is Iraq. It's a predominantly Shia country. You need to understand that the guy Saddam Hussein, who ruled this country between 1979 and 2003, was a Sunni. So he belonged to the minority Sunni community in this predominantly Shia country. So you look at its capital, Baghdad. Its prime minister is Mustafa al-Kadhimi. Mustafa al-Kadhimi, and the currency is dinar, Iraqi dinar, Iraqi dinar. It is the source of the biggest, it's the biggest source of petroleum to India. India exports, India imports most of its oil. Its biggest source is Iraq. Okay, most of its oil comes from Iraq. It's its biggest source of oil. Okay. So from there, Iran. Iran is the capital is Tehran. It's a pretty large country. You see this? It's 16.48 lakh square kilometers. That would be 50% of India's area. The population is 9 crores. See, Iran is home to a couple of deserts also. But before I tell you the deserts names, Iran, Tehran is the capital you mentioned. The supreme leader, you can write this. I normally have not given this information. Ayatollah Khomeini. Khamenei. Ayatollah Khamenei is the supreme leader of this country. They have a president, and above the president is this guy called Ayatollah Khamenei. Since 1979, the country has had only two guys as the spiritual leaders. One was Ayatollah Khomeini, and he was succeeded by Khamenei. President. So Ayatollah Khamenei is a spiritual leader. The president is Ibrahim al-Raisi. Al-Raisi. And the currency is Rial, in brackets you could write Toman. Okay. See, and this part, this is all desert. This area is desert. Okay. Iran is home to a desert called Dasht-e-Lut. Dasht-e-Lut. Nice name. Dashto Sehra mein, there is this line in a very famous film, in a song from a very famous film called Raja Sultana. So find out what does it mean. Oman, this is Oman, guys. You see, this Oman is also here in the peninsular, just above UAE. On the peninsular part, there is Oman. So Oman's generally has been a very neutral observer. It hasn't taken sides in the Iran Saudi Arabia dispute. It has pretty good relationship with the US, with Iran, with with Saudi Arabia, with Israel. Oh, it's like it plays its cards quite well. Oman's capital is Muscat. This is Muscat at the top. Oh man, this is Muscat. Yeah, it's a port town. Then its king's name is Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, that is son of Tariq Al Sayyid. Just remember Haytham. Okay, and Omani Rial. Omani Rial is a currency. Omani Riyal. Omani Riyal. I guess we're done with all these countries here. Pretty good. Let's go, guys. In partnership with which institution did the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC, recently unveil India's latest supercomputer named Param Ananta, ID Gandhi Nagar. Okay, let's write about CDAC. Please write about CDAC. Created or set up in 1987. Set up in 1987. Head office Pune. Director General Magesh Ethirajan. Magesh Ethirajan. You could also write Param 8000, India's first supercomputer. India's first supercomputer. Param 8000. Next, Param Al Siddhi. What is his name? Param Siddhi AI, artificial intelligence, India's fastest supercomputer. India's fastest supercomputer, Param Siddhi AI. Okay. It's a global rankings 111. Global rank is 111. India's fastest, world's 111th fastest. Okay. For which of the following has the Supreme Court recently directed to have a mandatory eco-sensitive zone of a minimum 1 kilometer starting from the demarcated boundaries? All of them. Okay, all of them. Because of the human activity, pollution, roads, blaring of honking, blaring is sounding horn and all, honking and all has greatly impacted animals living in these places. So the Supreme Court has said around the boundaries, at least from there, and at least another 1 kilometer, there should be an ESG. G, I normally, this is American pronunciation. This Americans pronounce this letter as Z. Okay. So ESZ we say. So India, you could write this. India has 106 national parks. You could write subheading national parks. Some additional information. National parks, subheading 106 national parks. First national park, Haley National Park, Haley National Park, dash 1936. You want to know where is it? Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand. Today called Corbett National Park. Corbett National Park. So it was started as Haley National Park way back in 1936 in what we today call Uttarakhand, that region, but it has since been renamed Corbett National Park. Okay, next. I guess that should be fine here. By what? That should be fine. Which of the following nations, which the European nation has recently voted to join the European Union's common defense policy? You do one thing, you write this. Common security and defense policy. common security and defense policy dash European Union's course of action, European Union's course of action in fields of defense and crisis management, in fields of defense and crisis management. Okay, underline that. Underline common security and defense policy. Head office, you would know the head office, Brussels. Chief Joseph, this is spelling, Borrell, Joseph Borrell of Spain. Okay, that's it. Everyone's worried now because of the Russian actions in Ukraine. Okay, right. Denmark comprises Greenland and Faroe Islands. Faroe Islands are here. Okay. Greenland, Faroe Islands, and then it's a constitutional monarchy, so they have a monarch, but we'll take the name of the Prime Minister, whom the Prime Minister of India met recently. PM Mette Frederiksen. Mette Frederiksen. That's a Prime Minister. The currency is krone. Currency is krone. No, it's krona. I'm sorry. Krona. Azerbaijan. This is Azerbaijan here. You can, in fact, let's go back to the one of the previous maps. We find this is Azerbaijan. Okay, this is on the Caspian Sea. Baku, you see, is the capital here. Azerbaijan, the capital is Baku. Predominantly Shia country, but deeply secular. The president here says religion should be the business of the individual. It should be the personal business, not the state's business. The president here is Ilham Aliyev. And the currency is Manat, M-A-N-A-T. You know what? Azerbaijan and Armenia have had, you could write this, long-standing territorial dispute with Armenia, its neighboring country, over Nagorno-Karabakh region. Okay, next. Switzerland, no capital, you could write, no legal capital, but you could write Bern is where the federal government sits. Federal government seat. Federal government seat, or where the government sits. Now, Switzerland has a 7-member federal council. Each member takes an annual turn to become the president of the country. The 2022 guy is Ignazio Cassis. Ignazio Cassis is the president, current president, 2022 president of the country. Ignazio Cassis, and the currency is franc. Currency is franc. Next, Monaco. See this? At the tip here, you find Monaco. On the almost on the border with Italy, there is a small country on the French coast called Monaco. Okay, think of the biscuits, Monaco biscuits. Yeah, Monaco is a very tiny country. But before I tell you a little about this, you write capital Monte Carlo. King Albert II. Albert II. Okay. Then currency euro. Currency euro. Now you could also write world's second smallest country by area. World's second smallest country by area, 2.1 square kilometers. 2.1 square kilometers. You could also write one more thing. World's most densely populated country. World's most densely populated country. Density of 19,500 people per square kilometers. People per square kilometers. So it has a population of about 39,000 who are all squeezed into this 2.1 square kilometers. Yeah. So, as you know, I always give extra information so that you get a little more information. You become that much more comfortable. Yeah. And Monte Carlo is probably the only place, in fact, it's the only place where the Formula One race takes place on the city's roads. Because how big is a city, the country? Yeah. Think about it. 2.1 square kilometer country. The Formula One race happens on the city's roads. Cities roads actually. Okay. Next, Vatican City. Capital Vatican. Headed by Pope Francis. Pope Francis. Currency euro. You could also write now. World's smallest country. World's smallest country. Both by area and population. By both area and population. By both area and population. Area is 0.4 square kilometers. 0.4 square kilometers. And population is 453. I read this yesterday, so it wouldn't have increased because you can't increase. The population doesn't rise here in this place. Okay. Next. I guess we're done with this. India and Senegal have recently signed 3 memorandums of understanding for cultural exchange, cooperation, youth matters, and visa-free regime for officials. The capital of Senegal is Dakar. This is Senegal. You see this here? Senegal. But here you see this worm-like thing here. That's a separate country. That's the country of Gambia. Okay. So You see, this is a famous car rally called the Dakar car rally. So Senegal's capital is Dakar. Beirut, you see here, Beirut, that is Lebanon, the country of Lebanon. Abuja, this is Abuja here. Nigeria. I show in the map, I put maps so that you become familiar. You don't have to remember all these things. Yeah, but you know, when you look at a map, you're like, okay, I know now. You have some basic idea. Like that. Tripoli. Tripoli is here. Libya. Luanda, it's here. Yeah, this is Angola, the country of Angola. Luanda is here. Okay, if you want just Senegal's president, Macky Sall is the president of Senegal. Okay, president of Senegal is Macky Sall. Chalo, normally Nigeria we have written. Beirut, that is Lebanon's president, prime minister is Najib Mikati. He is the richest man in that country. Najib Mikati. Najib Mikati. Prime Minister of Lebanon. Tripoli, this country is contested, deeply contested. There was a dictator here called Muammar Gaddafi who ruled the country between 1969 and 2011. I have followed these guys deeply. No, I'm not that old. I read a lot of good stuff. So yeah, reading gives you a lot of knowledge. Yeah, at least information. Yeah, and Muammar Gaddafi went away in 2011. He was killed there, and since then this country has been seeing a major civil war. Okay, but as of now, internationally recognized, the UN recognized Prime Minister of Libya is Abdel Debe. This is spelling Deibeh. Okay. Angola's president is João Lourenço. Nigeria's president is a guy called Muhammadu Buhari. You write Muhammad, put an U in the end of Muhammad. Muhammadu Buhari. That is the name, spelling. Muhammadu Buhari. Which of the following Indian state celebrated its foundation day on June 2nd? June 2nd. Telangana, my state. Yeah, I'm in Hyderabad. So this is when in 2014 it was formed. 2014. United AP was sliced, partition, and Telangana region became a separate state on the 2nd of June 2014. So Telangana formation day. What about Karnataka? It became a separate state on November 1st, 1956. That time, this was all one state. This is all one state. Yeah. So, at the time of India's partition, this was all one state. This entire region was one state. But anyway, Karnataka, 1st November 1956. 1956. Kerala also, 1st November 1956. They were all parts of Madras state. Maharashtra and Gujarat. Maharashtra and Gujarat. This is called Bombay state. This region was called Bombay state. So, 1st May 1960. 1st May 1960. Tamil Nadu, basically it was called Madras state. So at the time India became republic, same time. It was not called Tamil Nadu, it was called Madras state. Okay, but let's put it that way. 26 January 1950. Padma Shri awardee Pandit Bhajan Sopari passed away recently. He was an exponent of Santur. In fact, we have had two major, exponents of the Santur passing away in quick succession. We had Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma, and then now Pandit Bhajan Sopari. Both came from Kashmir, and you need to understand that he belonged to the Sufiana Gharana. Sufiana Gharana. He was also a recipient of the Sangeet Natak Academy Award. Sangeet Natak Academy Award. In 2004, he received the Padma Shri. Okay. Chalo. Which state government recently launched an e-stamping facility, thereby abolishing physical stamp papers of all denominations to bring efficiency and check the pilferage of state revenue? Punjab. See, when there is a this is what you call paper stamps, e-stamps and registrations. They are all used in stamp papers are used in any legal work, like buying real estate, buying property, land, and all that require notification, that require registration and all. So there is a lot of money exchange that happens, when there is paper involved. But now there is no paper, so this could, to a large extent, decrease the incidence of corruption. I wouldn't say it will do away with corruption, but yes, it will come down. Okay, Punjab. Punjab has a chief minister named Bhagwant Mann. As some of you know, he was a comedian. He used to come on the Great Indian Laughter Challenge. Yeah. So Bhagwant Mann, Raju Srivastav, Sunil Pal, they were all big stars in those days. But now, of course, he is now the chief minister, chief minister of Punjab. Yeah. We have two guys, comedians, former comedians who become leaders. One is this, the other is Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who was a TV comedian. Okay. See, the word Punjab, as most of you know, comes from the names of five. Panj means five. Ab means waters. The land of five waters. Waters in plural means water body. Okay. So, the land of five waters. What five waters? Bes, Ravi, Sutlej, Chenab, and Jhelum. The thing is, at the time the name was given, all these rivers used to flow in what was called what we today call undivided Punjab, because at the time of partition, a significant chunk of what was called Punjab went to Pakistan. Today it's called Pakistani Punjab, and of course this is Indian Punjab. This is our Punjab. Okay, these three rivers flow in today's Punjab. These three rivers flow in today's Punjab. These rivers flow in Pakistan and in Pakistani Punjab. Okay. They also flow, see, they flow in Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh. I'm not saying that. I'm talking Punjab only. Okay. Pakistani Punjab. Chala. Who is the new Director General of the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security? Zulfikar Hassan. Okay. Rajneesh Seth is the DGP, new DGP of Maharashtra Police. Maharashtra Police. Director General of Police, Maharashtra. Atul Karwal. Atul Karwal is director, you could write, director of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Police Academy, Hyderabad. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Police Academy. S.L. Taosin, Director General of Sashastra Seema Bal. Sashastra, 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 Seema Bal, Seema Bal. Ravi Sinha, Special Director in Research and Analysis Wing, Research and Analysis Wing. Research and Analysis Wing. Okay. Which crypto company launched India's first benchmark index to measure the performance of Indian rupee based crypto market? CoinSwitch. I'm not going to discuss this anyway. Yeah, this would require a elaborate discussion, at least 30-40 minutes. Crypto markets, blockchain, and all that. So elsewhere I have shared this, but for you guys it's not really required. In a unique initiative which Indian Institute of Management partnered with an e-marketplace, electronic marketplace for agricultural land, S-Farms India, to develop a farmland price index based on the sales and purchases done on the platform. IIM Ahmedabad. This index is called IIM Ahmedabad S-Farms Land Price Index. You know, IIM Ahmedabad S-Farms Land Price Index. Okay. So it has developed it's going to develop a price index. Now if you make a purchase through the platform, or you make a sale through the platform, people would know how much is the price of a piece of agricultural land in a particular area. So the idea is, today if you would want to buy a piece of land, let's say in Gujarat, agricultural land in Gujarat, you wouldn't know what's the price, so you wouldn't have much of an idea. Yeah, but this land price index aims to change that, and this is pretty good for businesses, for individuals, for investment purposes and all that. But this is, see, not many people would use the platform to, so the data would be, the sample size, the data would be very small actually. And this would require taking the legal route, but most real estate transactions in India happen through the illegal way. A part of the price of the property is usually paid in black money. Yeah, so this is a major issue. Iran dismissed the International Atomic Energy Agency's latest report on the country's stockpile of enriched uranium. The headquarters of IAEA is at Vienna. So you could write this IAEA dash, this is a full form, International Atomic Energy Agency dash UN body headquartered Vienna, Austria, the capital of Austria. Okay. Then Director General Rafael Grossi of Argentina. Okay. Yeah. So the basic work of IAEA is to go to those countries which are nuclear power plants, which have declared those nuclear plants, and to ensure that its inspectors go check the plants to ensure that there is no military activity taking place. There is no nuclear bombs are being made. So whatever uranium is supplied to these countries is for two purposes. One, a country would have uranium for two purposes: to generate electricity, okay, for civil use, and two is to build nuclear bombs. So a country has to first ensure that a country has to be a member of IAEA. If it's a member of the IAEA, it has to open the doors of its nuclear plants to inspection from inspectors of IAEA. Okay. Now Iran has clearly stated that they do not have any um, nuclear ambitions. They don't want to build a nuclear bomb. But they have never ever been forthcoming. They have always been very hesitant. They have not opened doors to all of their nuclear plants. Now you look at India. In India, we have 22 nuclear reactors, 22 nuclear plants, 7 plants and multiple plants, of course, but 22 nuke reactors and all. You know what? We have this, we at the time of building a plant or something, we need to declare this to be either civil or military. Okay? Now, if it's military, then its doors are closed to members of IAEA. If it's civil, it has to be inspected. It must be inspected by IAEA guys. So India has 7 military plants, and the rest being, as of now, 15 are civil plants. 15 are civil plants where we generate electricity. Yeah. So, but Iran says we don't have any nuclear bombs. Why should we be worried about this? But Iran is a very, Iran, China, these countries cannot, Pakistan, they cannot be trusted. They cannot be trusted. Okay. We could write one thing. We mentioned Bern a while ago. There is no great body here. Paris is home to UNESCO. Rome, FAO, that is Food and Agricultural Organization. Food and Agricultural Organization. Madrid, World Tourism Organization. Tourism Organization. World Tourism Organization. Okay. Yeah. We're just writing the headquarters, nothing else. Name the supercomputer which has been built by using Hewlett-Packard Enterprise architecture and is equipped with advanced micro devices processors and has outperformed Fugaku to become the world's fastest supercomputer. The fastest supercomputer is Frontier. It's Frontier. Okay. The top 3 supercomputers in the world are: 1. Frontier, US country. Okay. So country, supercomputer, rank. 2. Fugaku, Japan. 3. What is his name? Lumi. Yeah, Lumi. European Union, in brackets Finland. To be precise, Finland. Okay. See, Fugaku had can crunch numbers at a speed of 442 petaflops. 442 petaflops. Okay. Frontier recently demonstrated that it can crack at 1042 petaflops, which is 1000 petaflops floating point operations per second equals 1 exaflop or 1 exaflop. So it's the world's first exaflop supercomputer, Frontier. What is it? Frontier. Yeah. It's a lot of things now. I mean, seriously top class. It's not 11,042. It is 1102. 1102. Yeah. But anyway, it's over 1,000. These are the top 3. India's fastest. This is India's fastest, and a while ago I told you this is the rank of it. Okay. India's second fastest is Pratyush supercomputer. It is at the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, and this is ranked 132 in the world. Pratyush 132. Okay. Chalo. Who is the new MD and CEO of the National Asset Reconstruction Company? See, this is a company that buys bad loans from banks and basically banks, and tries to recover the money. Okay, and they buy it at discount. See, if the loan is worth something like, let's say, 1,000 crore, it's a 1,000 crore loan. Okay, the bank has an NP of 1,000 crore. So these guys say, okay, we will pay you 500 crore. We will pay you 500 crore. So they negotiate the deal at 500 crore, and if NARCL is able to, the NACR takes the job of recovering the money from the borrower. If they borrow, they recover 600 crore, they make 100 crore. If they are able to recover, let's say 400 crore, they suffer a loss of 100 crore. So it's a job of NARCL to take on bad loans at a discount and try to recover the money to make profit. Okay. Yeah. See, Alok Chaudhary, Swaminathan, Ashwini Kumar, and C.S. Shetty are all SBI managing directors. SBI managing directors, all of them. SBI managing directors. Who's the SBI chairperson? Dinesh Khara. Dinesh Khara, Khara. C.S. Shetty, the full name is Challa Srinivasulu Chetty. Challa Srinivasulu Chetty or Shetty. Turkey has changed its name to Turkey. Find the correct statement about Turkey. All of them are right. Okay, this is Turkey. This is Turkey, and Turkey is in deep trouble. It has an inflation rate of about, official inflation rate is 73%. Officially, it is 73%. That is something that cost, let's say, 1 rupee 1 year back or even a month back, today costs 73 rupees. It's in great trouble. The trouble is because of the religious beliefs of the president. See, Erdogan is a Muslim, and as a Muslim, he believes that interest is haram, forbidden. Islam forbids interest. But he says, we will not raise interest rates. Today in Turkey, interest rates are very low. When interest rates are low, people borrow money and they spend. To spend, you need goods. To be able to buy, so what do you spend on? Let's say you want to buy something, yeah, you need to have supply of that. If there is no supply, the price goes up, and that is what inflation is. Globally, and if you look at India, our own country, because there is inflation, we have been raising interest rates. This guy says, no, I'll not go that route. I believe we will be able to produce more and bring down the prices. Because interest rates are low, people will borrow money and produce more to cater to the demand. But no one wants to borrow when interest rates are so low, but inflation is so high. Because you borrow, when you borrow money, you know, the problem is that you have to pay low interest, but people do not have that much purchasing power. When people do not have purchasing power, their demand for goods and services also decreases. Because when prices increase, your money buys less, na? You don't have enough things. Yeah? Like, if you have 100 rupees, okay, 1 kg of apple had cost, let's say, 40 rupees. With 100 rupees, you could buy 2.5 kilos. 2.5 kilos at 40 rupees. At 40 rupees. Now the price has gone up to, let's say, 70 rupees. Will you be able to buy the same quantity? No, you won't be able to buy. Yeah, you won't be able to buy even 1 kilo. You would be able to buy 1 kilo, but not more than, but less than 2 kilos. So it impacts your quality of life. Apples could be very expensive, not important. But what about bread? What about, wheat? Or that is, what about rice? What about essentials like veggies and all that? So Turkey is going through a lot of problems because of the beliefs of their president. Yeah, it's the people who are suffering, and trust me, they are suffering a lot. Okay. Name the Indian American recently won the 2022 Scripps US National Spelling Bee Championship. I am not going to discuss this. Harini Logan. Yeah. Identify the country where polio remains endemic in 2022. All three countries, because of the religious hardliners. The religious hardliners in these countries say there is, not all these countries. Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nigeria. Three countries. Okay, these three countries have Islamist hardliners who say that you cannot use a medicine developed by Jews. Okay, the first polio vaccine was developed by a guy called Jonas Salk. He was a Jew. Okay, the oral vaccine that we take was developed by a guy called Albert Sarin. Jews and Christians. See, these things unfortunately have taken a religious angle. This should not be the case, my friends. Yeah, because little children are suffering. Albert Sabin. Albert Sabin created the oral polio vaccine that we take. Okay, that little 2 drops. This is a guy who created it. Okay, Albert Sabin. So, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Nigeria. In Nigeria, North Nigeria, there is a terrorist group called Boko Haram. Boko Haram. That is, the West is forbidden. Education, everything is forbidden by them. So, they say that we should not take anything made by the West. That's what it's, especially the Jews and Christians. It's so unfortunate. Little children are suffering. We in India have eradicated polio because of, there was opposition in India itself, but then the government of India spoke with community elders and exhorted them, this is for the benefit of our children. So the community elders went to the mosques and all these places, other religious places, and they said, please go ahead, get your children vaccinated. And look, today we don't have, polio. See, when people get involved, especially for good reasons, things work better. But people have no voice in very violent places like Pakistan, where you have a large number of terrorist groups, in Afghanistan, Nigeria. That's why polio remains only in these three countries. Yeah. Which of the following methods is not used by the RBI as part of the credit control measures? Ways and means. Open market operations, cash reserve ratio, SLR. We have discussed this in the recent past. So I'm going to discuss only ways and means, advances. So please write ways and means, advances. Okay, right. Ways and means, advances. Underline that. Right. First point. Facility. FACILITY. Facility for central government, for central and state governments. Facility for central and state governments to borrow from the RBI, Reserve Bank of India, to tide over temporary mismatches in receipts, the P is silent, and expenditures. Receipts and expenditures. So expenditure is more, receipts are low. What does the government do? It borrows. Yeah, where can they borrow? Under this ways and means, advances, they can borrow from the RBI. So facility for central and state governments to borrow from the RBI. Did I mention that? I guess no. To borrow from the RBI to tide over temporary mismatches in receipts and expenditures. Next point. The loan should be repaid. The loan should be repaid or must be repaid within 3 months. Within 3 months from the date of borrowing. From the date of borrowing. From the date of borrowing. Next. Interest on WMA. Interest on WMA is charged at repo rate, repo rate. You know repo rate? Yeah. Repo rate is the rate of interest charged by the RBI on short-term loans to commercial banks at repo rate. Basically, governments have to pay the same rate of interest that banks pay to the RBI. Same thing. Okay. The primary role of SIDBI is what is SIDBI? Small Industries Development Bank of India. Small Industries Development Bank of India. Small Industries Development Bank of India. They give money to small scale industries and all. Lucknow, head office, Lucknow. And the chairperson is Siva Subramaniam Raman. 2 N's. Siva Subramaniam Raman. Okay. Reverse repo is a rate at which the RBI borrows from commercial banks. Okay. Reverse repo is usually lower than the repo rate. So what is the RBI repo rate? The RBI lends money to commercial banks, and the rate charged, reverse repo is the interest rate. Reverse repo is the interest rate at which RBI borrows from commercial banks, and repo rate is the interest rate charged by the RBI on loans to commercial banks. Simple. That's about it, guys. Next class we will discuss PSL, priority sector lending, and so let's hope to see you soon. Have a lot of fun. Stay curious.